You hear that in the background? Get around, baby. Tupac. Another one. Round and round we go. Oh my God. Whew. Here we are. Round and round we go. You see the screen. I can't believe it, man. I mean, Russell Westbrook going to the Houston Rockets to reunite with James Harden. He's going to be playing in a Mike D'Antoni system, which is shoot happy. He's only 30 years old. He's a triple-double machine. I know he would have rather been in Miami, but hey, Russell, those dreams can go away. Probably would have been better for you anyway, if you know what I mean, on the down low, Mr. Russell Westbrook. Anyhow, Houston Rockets, he can focus on basketball a little bit more because Miami has a lot of distractions. I live close to there, so I know. So Russell Westbrook is now on the Rockets to add to the duos, the super team duos. The Clippers, I'm going to say the Lakers for now, even though DeMarcus Cousins healthy. Go look at some DeMarcus Cousins films from this week or videos. The man has lost a lot of weight, so he could come back to his old form. We shall see. He was never a leaper, so don't go about exploding. He never needed it anyway. That said, Russell's headed over to the Rockets, and man, Chris Paul, Jesus Christ. I mean, what a slap to the face. He's going over to the Thunder, and I think this is a career pass. So what are the details? It's quite simple, right? Russell's the younger player, 30 years old, and Chris Paul is 34 and 85, baby. Obviously, you need to give a little more to get the younger player who averages a triple-double, and you can see the details here. First round pick swaps, okay, so for 2024 and 26, and then pick swaps in 2021, 2025. So obviously the Thunder more than likely will get the dates that are closer, 2024 and 2021. So that's an opportunity. All right, that's an opportunity for them to reload. They are truly reloading. Now, they got that big old Chris Paul contract. I don't know who else is going to take that. I don't know who else would need him and take that risk. I could see one team taking a risk on Chris Paul. Somebody loved him, and his name is Mr. Popovich from the Spurs. I knew the Spurs loved Chris Paul. If they feel like they have a title chance, I wouldn't want them to mess up the youth that they have on the San Antonio Spurs. But hey, it could be an option for him to go there. They would have to make a lot of different moves to make that happen. So mark it here first. Chris Paul possibly back over to the Spurs. I could possibly see that happen. Miami's probably a no-go. They would have to give up too many assets. But let's get into a career play and what this means for Houston Rockets real quick. A lot of people love this move. I'm going to tell you what you're losing when you get Russell Westbrook. I'm going to show you what Chris Paul can do, even though he's not able to play a lot of games at 34 years old. We're looking at his career stats, and obviously the key highlights are, you can see the production has gone down 2013-14 through 19. It's gone down, right? Last year, on average, played 58 games, averaged 15 points a game, had about the same amount of field goal attempts, but didn't make as many. 3-point attempts, higher attempts. But the percentage was probably the lowest in his last 5 years, and that's what it looks like, 35%. Free throws, even that is at one of its lowest points, 86%, but he's still Chris Paul. If I put these numbers on some other teams, he would still be a serviceable player, but not for the salary. Here goes what I like to see and what people don't realize. Even though his assists are down to 8.2, the man is a creator with the ball. He doesn't really necessarily need his speed because he has the ball on yo-yos, and it's crazy to watch him play. I love watching him play, and he can make things easier for other players. I don't think Russell Westbrook has the eyesight of Mr. Chris Paul, and that's what they're missing out on, the involvement. So what you're going to say is, well, shut up. James Harden can create. That is true. but it was nice to see Chris Paul be the other hand who can make something happen, and an incredible passer. He will go down definitely as a Hall of Famer, but I think that's what they missed out. Russell's going to be gun happy, so it's going to be all James Harden for the creation perspective, unless they're able to find a little free agent who they can sign. I want to make mention of Trevon Duval and Mr. Clemens, who are doing great in the summer league. Interesting to see them play, but they're also scorers. So now, what do we get from Russell Westbrook? Right? I think that's the only thing that Chris Paul does better than Russell is definitely his vision on the court, even though it doesn't show on the assist numbers. Let's go into Russell Westbrook. So let's jump up. Had it here. Russ, he is a stat line king, but you can see, and I'm sorry, I forgot. The other part of it is Chris Paul can shoot. So we're going to immediately see the field goal percentages. Let's see, 42%. Oh, that's higher. So inside, obviously, he dunks a lot. But here goes where the minuses come. 3-point shot, right? Chris Paul's a better shooter than Mr. Russell Westbrook. So these guys are Rico Hines affiliates. If they're going to Rico Hines this summer, I'm watching all those little mixtapes and get scrimmage games. Russell needs to be on the corner just shooting threes. He had one okay year, which was 16-17, had the attempt 7, averaged about 34%. If he can get to 36%, I think that'll be good enough for this team. Also, the other problem, this is huge. I'm sorry. Also, free throws. So Chris Paul is a pretty big hit. Chris Paul was in the 80s and maybe in the high 30s for the 3-point percentage. You're losing a lot here. But you're gaining rebounds, right? His intensity, almost 11 rebounds per game, plus 10 assists. But then the next problem, turnovers go up because he likes to handle the ball a lot, likes it in his hands. Paul was at a 2.6 last year. Russell Westbrook at a 4.5 turnovers per game. Steal-wise, you would think he would be better defensively. I'm going to give Russell the edge, even though it doesn't show here. Chris had more steals, but I think Russell will be the better overall defender. So the losses are clear for me. I think the court vision, even though Russ shows higher assist numbers, I don't think he opens it up as easy as Chris Paul does. And obviously, one of the huge factors they're going to have to make up somewhere is the 3-point percentage and in the free throw. So just remember those numbers. I'm going to go back to Chris Paul. Percentage 29% for Westbrook and 65% from the free throw, which has to improve. I don't know why it's so down. He was in the 80s at some points in his career, and getting older, he needs to get back there. So let's go to Chris Paul again and just see where that's at. Again, wow. So obviously, yeah, so 35%. If he can get there, that's huge. That's going to be huge, folks. I mean, that is huge, even though it doesn't show up. Because Chris Paul couldn't play all the game. That 3-point percentage is going to be critical. Russ has to work on that. This is an uneven trade in favor, actually, of the Thunder, no offense. So obviously there's a relationship issue between Paul and Harden. It didn't work out. But now Harden gets another dog, a guy that can go all out. It's only 30 years old, probably has 3 more years of prime. And that is keeping the athleticism that he has. He won't be never as athletic as he was when he was younger, because as you get older it goes. But hey, he's at prime, and I think we'll see that for a couple more years. And I think that the Houston Rockets have made a good move based upon the options that they had in the relationship between Paul and Harden. We'll see how this turns out. We got another player. Watch my video on Western Conference top teams and how they're going to end up in the regular season. I'm not going to move my position for the Rockets. I think they're in the same spot. Russell's rebounds kind of make up the deficits of his 3-point shooting as well as his free throw percentage, which I think should improve. So big trade, big loss on both sides, but you got the best equivalency that you could get at this time from a trade perspective. Off Work Sports, I'm out. Peace.